Hey Bearcat fans, Coach Marsh here, and I'm with marginal athlete, lifelong pilot pointer, brother of Justin Kirby, father of Aston Kirby.
Oh boy, here we go.
Chance.
You
Kirby.
know, it's caught on. John, every week, talks about my inferior genetics that I've given Aston and how he's overcome them.
You know,
so it's the running joke.
He has one more touchdown in his first. I guess he's played 3 games at Massey Stadium now. He has one more touchdown on Massey Stadium turf than you have in your entire life.
First catch, he had one more catch at Massey Stadium than I did in my entire life.
But in any case, it's Coach March's chance. We're here.
Yes.
We're going to talk all things Paradise. So, should we say we've got 2 tickets to Paradise?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Well, awesome.
Although I don't know how they're going to be on sale, but when they are available, we'll definitely get those tickets.
Let you know.
It's probably not as easy as it used to be.
So, Paradise Panthers, 0-2 in district. Okay. Coming off of a game against the old Brock Buzzsaw that everybody's kind of running into. That number 1 Brock Eagles team is rocking and rolling, and Paradise was just their latest victim.
I heard you say earlier today, and I want to clarify that everyone we play has played Brock the week before.
Yeah, we're going to follow Brock all the way through the district slate.
Okay.
And so we'll have lots of Brock film, which is what you saw me watching earlier today. So the 0-2 green and white Paradise Panthers will be hosting the 2-0 Pilot Point Bearcats on Friday night. I don't know what their stadium's called, so we'll just call it Panther Stadium.
That might be what it's called. What I know about it is when we were there last time, they have, unless it's changed, they have the worst lighting for a photographer of any stadium I've ever been to. I think that those are the lights that were left that Roy Hobbs didn't destroy with his home run.
Okay, well, on a positive note, they are also, if you're a football purist, the only natural grass field that we will play on. And so, like I said, if Lenny Gray's taking care of it, it's going to be in awesome shape. I'll tell you more about it on Thursday night after we play junior high there. But you know, we're going to take this show on the road for the first time in district and see what we can do on the road. Just a little bit about Paradise. You know, not a traditional Pilot Point opponent. Now, they've been kind of on our district slate the last few years, so we've kind of gotten to know them. Now, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It's Koch. How do we pronounce that?
Wasn't the New York mayor named that? And it was...
Is it Coke? Cook? Koch?
I thought it was Koch.
Let's go with Koch. And if we're wrong, Coach Koch...
It's an honest mistake.
It's an honest mistake, and what I'm about to say is going to be very respectful so that he will know that we don't mean this in any kind of disrespectful way. Coach Joe Koch is a Wisconsin high school Hall of Fame coach. Okay, he has 159 wins to 69 losses as a head football coach in Wisconsin, and he brought his talents down south whenever he became Paradise's offensive coordinator under head coach Ronnie Gage. And then when Ronnie Gage retired, he ascended to the head coaching role. And so you have a long track record of success for Coach Koch. And so, you know, that itself proves the opponent that we're going to play on Friday night is going to be well prepared and have a little something special for us. The defensive coordinator is his son, Tommy, who was the defensive coordinator previously at Crum and then at S&S. And so they're keeping it all in the family down there.
Well, if you watched the game last year, they gave us a lot of fits.
Oh, they did. They brought the house and went cover zero almost exclusively the whole game, and it gave us a lot of problems. So I don't know if that's what they'll do to us. You know, we're a different team. They're a different team. They did have a SEC-bound tight end last year in number 80, Mitchell Sellers, who's gone. They had a excellent quarterback that's gone, and so we have a whole new cast of characters down there. But the one thing that remains the constant about the Paradise Panthers is they're physical, they're fast, and they play hard. And so that's something that you can kind of expect from them. And they're led up front by number 71. Don't have his name because the name's not in front of me right now.
Well, you know, that's funny because you know how you like to come in cold on the post-game show and not watch TDs. Well, you allowed me to have film privileges this week. Normally I come in cold.
Yeah.
And after this one, I might lose film privileges because Boy, do I have questions now.
Gosh,
But
if you don't stop texting me, you're going to
take
lose
a
them.
look at my first note when you say that. Number 71.
Number 71.
That's who stood out, but I'm sorry. Continue.
No, number 71. He is a physical, big lineman that gets after it. And so he's going to be the first person that we're going to kind of look out for. But let's go ahead and let's get a word from our sponsors real quick, and we'll come back and we'll talk what's going to happen when Paradise has the ball. We're going to take a break from our show to give a word about the Nutrition Den. Ken and Angela, they offer a full line of Herbalife products. You can get a workout shake, a protein shake, meal replacement. They have energy drinks. They have a full line of products that can help you meet your health goals. Not only that, they're great people. They're fun to be around. They're fun to talk to.
Hit them up on Grubhub.
You can hit them up on Grubhub and social media. They're active on their Facebook, which is the Nutrition Den, and there's even a check-in special to go along with their daily specials that they have almost every day of the week. So thank you, Ken and Angela. Thank you, Bearcat Nutrition Den. Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Greg Pelzel. Here at Pelzel Printing, we do custom embroidery, custom screen printing, and promotional product. You can reach Greg Pelzel at 940-453-5443. Go Bearcats.
Pelzel Barbershop and Salon and Southern Junkies has been home of the Bearcats since 1973. Whether you are looking for a classic crew cut or the perfect game day outfit, we have you covered. We carry a few fan favorite brands including Hey Dude Shoes, Judy Blue Jeans, D Supply Clothing, and Orleans Candle Company. Come check us out on the north side of the square in downtown Paula Point or online at www.southernjunkies.com, and that is junkies with a Z. And don't forget, go Bearcats!
All right, now we're back to the show. We're going to talk about Paradise's offense. So tell us what we need to look for.
Well, the first thing that you're going to look for is similar to how Gunner gave us kind of a change-up, so to speak, as far as offense goes, because of being a throwback. Paradise is going to do the same thing, but on a whole different level. Because they formation the crap out of you and line up in all kinds of formations. They motion tons of people, and most of it is try to create misdirection by using the motion to take the defender's eyes away, and then they run some kind of option. They're well coached. It's a good scheme. It causes fits for defensive coordinators because you have to figure out how you're going to line up, and you have to figure out what you're going to do with motion, and you're going to have to figure out all these contingency plans that are if then this, if then that. If they do this, we do that. And so it can create a lot of problems preparation-wise because you have to prepare for them.
So that makes it a fun week for you as scout team quarterback.
Well, I hope this is a week where Wyatt can be the scout team quarterback. I'm getting old. My knees hurt.
The arm hurts after practice.
Well, yeah, it does. So,
well, moving on, talking about the offense, and me going to annoy you with what I saw on film. My note says, and it goes along with what you say, it looks like they run the same thing every time, which I thought seemed like some sort of modern day option. 3 goes in motion, and 11 takes the snap and decides to hand it to him or not. And the meat of it behind the line looks to me like exactly the same thing, except for about every 8th play they throw deep. Is that a super oversimplification?
That sums it up. That's the meat and potatoes variety of it. Is that it goes back to assignment football. You have to account for all of these different things on every play. Who's going to have dive? Who's going to have pitch? Who's going to have quarterback? If it's a read play where it's straight in front of him, who's got the fly? Who's got the quarterback? And then the whole time you're trying to tell number 8 to keep his eyes out of the backfield so he doesn't get roasted deep. And same thing for Avery and Ish is they have to understand their assignments and do your job. If you're the defensive end, don't try to do anybody else's job. Do your job.
Well, if you believe that Brock is what their ranking is, it worked against them. They connected some deep balls on Brock.
They did. Number 24 is going to be their best receiver. If they're going to take a downfield shot, it's going to be to him. He was there last year. He was a fantastic player for him last year. Number 3 and number 5 are going to be the primary ball carriers, and they run hard. They hit the hole hard. And if you get them in the open field, it's going to be tough to catch them. The quarterback, number 11, does a great job of managing the game. He has a good enough arm to connect on some deep shots. He's not going to be confused with Joe Montana in the West Coast timing passing game where he's getting the ball out quickly and on target. That's just not his game. but he's got a good enough deep arm to keep you honest, and he does a great job of managing their offense and running the option well, making correct reads. He does a good job of putting them in a successful situation.
So I'm going to prove I do pay attention to you most of the time. With all this motion and the things that they do, it's kind of like you said in the previous show about Avery's touchdown play. They're trying to get a hat advantage, I'm assuming, by all of this too.
Yeah.
And then they're looking for that. If we outnumber them, then that's where we're going.
Yeah, and so to stick with your meat and potatoes variety of kind of how we're going to look at this, I'm not going to give everyone a dissertation on option football and this and that. You put a player in motion to see how the back end of the defense is going to react. If I go in motion from right to left, okay, just so you're staying with me, and because everybody can't see my hands going everywhere, and the fact that I'm probably going to act out half of what I'm talking about.
You're calling in airplanes again.
Yeah, I do it. But if I put a back in motion from right to left as an offensive coordinator and as a quarterback, I'm looking at what the back end of the defense is doing. What adjustment are they making? From a quarterback perspective, I'm looking because that's going to help me determine who my read man is, who my pitch man is, who am I going to read the dive off of, who am I going to read the pitch off of if we're running triple option. As a coordinator, I'm looking at it saying, what pieces of the puzzle are moving to open up something else? Because you look at how defenses react, and it's like poking and prodding. Okay, so if I do this and they do that, what can I do to influence them to do what I want them to do? So I send back in motion from right to left, and there's a wholesale change on the back end of the defense to where they over-rotate to the ball because they know my tendencies. Then it might be something where I fake to the motion guy and we run some kind of counter back because now my advantage is actually away from the motion because the defense overreacted. And so that's all the motion is it's you're trying to get fast flow one direction to see if you can outflank the defense, or are they going to react so much to the motion that you actually have an advantage out the back door?
And with this option, is that real time, or is that something that you see to then call on the next player? Is that what this quarterback is deciding in this offense?
The quarterback's going to decide who's going to be the ball carrier based off what the defense gives
What
them.
you just said.
Yeah, and so if motion from right to left, I'm going to mesh, which means that I'm going to put the ball in the belly of the motion man. And while the ball is in the belly of the motion man, I'm moving with him with my eyes on the play side defensive end. If the defensive end goes wide to tackle the motion guy, I pull it out of his belly, and then now it's a quarterback keeper B gap, so inside more than anything else. All right, same play, right to left. I say get the snap, ball's in the belly of the running back, and that same defensive end, okay, the next play maybe sits this time. So he doesn't widen with the running back, he sits waiting on the quarterback. Now I give it to the running back, and the defensive end, who should have contain, is out of position. And so you're banking on not the defense making a mistake, but the defense not doing their job. Because as a defensive coach, you should have all those things covered. The defensive end should have the quarterbacks. The outside linebacker should have the running back on the fly. And both those guys do their job every time, and you just make the tackle every time. But we're dealing with kids.
I think I heard you say once, and you credited Coach Moore with it, that you don't have to fool the coach. You just have to fool the 17-year-old on the field.
Exactly. You don't have to be smarter than the coach. You have to be smarter than the, in Coach Moore's exact words, the 16-year-old middle linebacker in the middle of the field. And so that's what they do. And so it's your preparation as a defensive coach when you're looking at that Paradise offense is you have to get these JV kids to replicate it throughout the week and to give you a good look. And that's one thing that we're blessed with in Pilot Point is we have a really good JV team that can give us a great look because they're a bunch of smart football players. And then you have to prepare these kids to know their assignment and then to monotonously do the assignment regularly and to not, the inner beast of an athlete means you just want to make the play. Especially when you're talking about an Aiden Cox or a Troy Tincher or Jay or these guys that, they're alphas. I want to make the play. To get them to say, hey, you have quarterback. You have quarterback every time. Even if you think he handed the ball off to that guy, you have the quarterback. And go let the other good dude tackle the running back. You have the quarterback. You have to get extreme buy-in from them to do it. And so that's the challenge of it as a coach, is to try to find the delicate balance on how you're going to play the motion, how you're going to prepare for what their counterpunch is to how you play the motion, and then are your kids going to do their assignment?
So to wrap up the offense, we need to watch out for the quarterback, number 11, running back, number 3, and then that receiver you said was 24?
24. And, it's all going to be assignment football. And, is the secondary going to fall asleep for the big pass play, and are we going to be able to play assignment football?
Those pass plays were big. I mean, when they decide to throw, they're not
first down plays.
Yeah.
They're scoring plays. They're
going for the end zone.
They're going for all the marbles. And that's the challenge of it. It's those three things, and then the untalked about, unseen, but is the most important thing is, can we be more physical than their offensive line? And they have a good physical offensive line. So can our defensive front control the line of scrimmage and not get pushed off the ball to where we put our guys that are playing the option out there on an island? And so defensively, like I said, what we have to do is, 1, don't fall asleep in the secondary. 2, play assignment football with monotonous regularity. And 3, redefine the line of scrimmage and don't get blown off the ball.
Well, I think that's a perfect wrap-up for the defensive portion of this show. So let's go to a break real quick, and then we'll come back and talk some offense.
Yes, sir.
Since 1983, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency has been covering the insurance needs of Pilot Point. Regardless of what that need may be, they have you covered, offering homeowners, auto, life, farm and ranch, and commercial. Give them a call at 940-686-2692. That's Germania Insurance, the Scott Walker Insurance Agency, located just north of the town square at 211 Scott Lane in Pilot Point, Texas. Scott Walker Insurance Agency, always there to help.
We want to wish our varsity cheerleader, Abby, a great senior year. Love Mom, Dad, and Michael.
There is no better source for local news than the Pilot Point Post-Signal. Pilot Point Post-Signal has been covering Pilot Point since 1878, providing award-winning top-notch coverage of Pilot Point and the Pilot Point Bearcats. You can start your subscription today by going to postsignal.com and signing up for their special, which is 2 months free of the digital and print copy, or you can call their phone number at 940-686-2169. The Pilot Point Post-Signal, the best source for local news. Okay, now let's talk about the Bearcat offense versus the Paradise defense. What can we expect to see on that? But real quick before you get started, let's go back to 71, which I noticed on my if you believe that Brock is what everyone says that they are, if I noticed him against Brock, then that tells me that he's going to show up. Yeah.
Now he'll be there.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in our backfield, but he's going to be there. Somebody's going to have to account for him.
He was in Brock's backfield.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a good player. He's a fantastic player. The good thing is we have arguably somebody who's as talented or more talented, number 72 from Bowie, Colton Price, last week. Kind of gave us a good warm-up for 71. And if we're able to do to 71 what we did to 72 from Bowie,
we'll be fine.
And so, that's on the Hogs up front. They just have to get after it like they did this past week. And I think we can nullify the impact that number 71 could have. But he's a fantastic football player. He does a really good job. Not only is he big and physical and he can move well for his size, he plays with great technique, plays with good leverage, uses his hands really well to get blockers off of him. And so he's the real deal. He's the whole package.
When we played Castleberry, and then you even said it last week in the pregame show, they're going to blitz, not like Paradise, but they're going to blitz. Well, now we're playing Paradise. Yeah. Tell us what Paradise does.
Well, no team's the same. Okay, we're not the same as the 2019 Bearcats, and these 2020 Paradise Panthers aren't the 2019 Paradise Panthers. Every team's unique. You can't help it. The 2019 Paradise Panthers brought the house almost every play and went cover zero behind it, and they gave us fits. They did. And so, I don't know if the younger coach, Koch, is going to do the same thing that he did last year, or if he's going to have a different plan. But based off of the film that we've seen, the film that we've received, you can expect mostly it's going to be a 4-man front. Sometimes it's a 4-2-5. Sometimes they'll spin the other safety down and kind of give a 4-4 type look. They've been predominantly man coverage for most of the time, but they'll flex into some cover 3 type stuff where it's 3 deep and then you have 5 underneath zone coverages, but they'll blitz out of it, so they vacate a zone to send a blitzer. And then, it's you just get a variety of coverages from them. You get a variety of fronts and a variety of pressures. They do a good job of mixing it up. Their kids seem to have a good basic understanding of everything that's happening. You don't see a whole bunch of busted coverages. You don't see a whole bunch of gaps that are just wide open because they did the wrong thing. They run a good gap sound pressure defense. And so, for those of you that are listening and you hear gap sound, you have your center, and then you have your guards. And the space in between your center and your guards is called the A gap. In between the guards and the tackles is the B gap. In between the tackles and if there's a tight end is the C gap. And then anything outside of tight end would be considered a D gap or just outside. So whenever I say their gap sound, that means that the pressures that they bring or the defenses that they run, the calls that they make, someone covers every gap. And that's the first key to playing good defense, is being gap sound. If you're not gap sound, there's a hole somewhere, and it's not a hole that the offense created, it's a hole that the defense created by doing something wrong or by poor scheme.
Now, what I'm thinking as a Madden offensive coordinator.
Yes.
If I can just get past that initial push and the line and get Ish just right through them, it's to the house.
Well, in theory, yeah, especially if they're going to be a predominantly man on the back end, because that means you're delaying the run support from your second level, because a good man corner won't do what Aston did against Gunner on that toss pass. He took his eyes off his man and tried to come make a tackle. Well, he didn't do his job. And so if you're a good coverage corner, a good free safety or strong safety that's in man coverage, your eyes should be on your man, not on the play. And so you have a really good chance that if you can break through that first wave and get to the second level, a guy like Ish should have a lot of success, because not only is he big and strong and fast, he can cut on a dime and he has excellent vision. And so that's going to be the thing, is how do we weather the storm to get Ish to the second level, or get Jay to the second level, or Dorian to the second level, or get Max to the second level, and make people miss and get the big plays, because they're there. You can make it happen against this defense, but you have to get past that initial wave of defenders. Well, and that wraps up what's going to happen when we have the ball, as far as how Paradise is going to approach us. Let's get a quick word from our sponsors, and we'll come back and wrap up the show here. Cat fans, one thing that I love about walking into the field house is looking at all the old pictures that you have from years past and being able to relive the history of those great teams and great players. And I love walking through with my sons and showing them a picture and saying, man, look at that guy, and telling them a story about a great play. And you can have the same opportunity to do that with your family by using Ashley Marsh Photography to capture your family's great memories. Seeing those pictures of your family will allow you to talk to your kids or your grandkids and tell great stories about things that you've done or things that you've seen, or just funny memories that you might have. So if you ever want to document your family's history, please contact Ashley Marsh Photography. You can find her on Facebook, on Instagram using Ashley Marsh Photography, as well as her website, ashleymarshphotography.com.
Located in Pilot Point, Texas, the Chandler family has been making custom cabinets for over 40 years. As a team, Chandler Cabinets is committed to designing and building the perfect cabinets for you. They will make the process comfortable and stress-free by personally guaranteeing a superior product built on the standard of superior craftsmanship and immaculate customer satisfaction. From concept to completion, perfect form and function. Chandler Cabinets is an award-winning company with a reputation for consistent innovation at the highest level of design. You can find more information on Chandler Cabinets at chandlercabinets.net or on their Facebook page, Chandler Cabinets. Chandler Cabinets, 40 years of excellence. Okay, that'll be it for Paradise Preview. You got any final thoughts you want to add to this real quick?
Well, I mean, to continue the preview, I think the main key to the game is how physical are we going to be on both sides of the ball. Can we wear them down? And then the second thing is I would really want to play a first half. Can we get the Castleberry first half in the Bowie second half and mash that Bearcat team all into one?
You know, Coach David said that at the Bearcat breakfast the other morning, Thursday morning. Except he said Castleberry first half, Peaster second half.
Well, that's because we hadn't played Bowie yet.
I know, but I'm saying y'all are thinking alike.
Hey, can we?
You'd think y'all are on the same staff or something.
Maybe we are. But no, it'd be really nice if we just come out and play football like what we're capable of. But in order to do that, we're going to have to be physical with this group from Paradise. And, we have to match their physicality, and we have to execute the way that we need to execute on both sides of the ball. Now, I know a big source of our time spent as far as PilotPointBearcats.com is on the broadcast. And we've been working really hard to try to bring a product, and it's been hit and miss, and we understand there is no bigger question mark as far as the broadcast goes than this week.
Than Paradise.
We've
pointed at Paradise since July.
Yes, and there's a lot of reasons why. Paradise isn't exactly in the metropolitan areas, and so cell signal, while it is there, we don't know if we're going to get 5G, if we're going to get 4G, are we going to get LTE, what are we going to get? Well, I hope not. I haven't heard that dial-up noise in a while. I don't want to hear it again.
And we don't know what the press box situation is. We could have our broadcast team in the bleachers. We could have them on the field.
There's no telling.
Yeah.
But we're going to be prepared for anything. But what we can't prepare for is the bandwidth that's available to us, which is going to be really the key to our broadcast. And so we just want to let y'all know up front, we can promise audio coverage. We're going to do our best to provide video coverage. You have to understand, though, with the facilities that Paradise has, we don't know where the camera angle would even come from if we provide video coverage, but if we're able to, we will give you something. If not, you'll get the same great audio coverage that we always get from Ryan and John. They do a fantastic job. I always enjoy listening to them on Saturdays after the game. They do such a really good job together. It's fantastic. So we know that we can provide that for you, but we're just the video is a huge question mark right now. One thing I am really excited about, though, looking forward, which is the thing a coach should never do, is look a week ahead. I can't wait to get back to Massey Stadium and see what Speed of Light is going to do for us and the broadband service that they provide for us. And so, big thank you to Speed of Light for knowing that we're going to have a stable internet connection at the stadium. I wish Speed of Light was in Paradise.
No kidding. And everybody, tell 3 or 4 of your friends, just like we want you to impress your friends with all the knowledge you get from Coach Marsh on this preview show. Tell 3 or 4 people about what we're trying to do and the trouble we're going to probably run into in Paradise, and just let them know so they're not scratching their head thinking, why can't we see this? What is wrong in Paradise?
Well, I think that about wraps it up for 2 tickets to Paradise.
It does.
And so, Bearcat fans, we'll see you on Friday night at Paradise, Texas. We have no idea how you're going to get your tickets yet, but as soon as we know, you'll know.
We'll post it.
And granted, we're going to post this show on Thursday morning, so just keep your eyes on social media and everything like that, and Pilot Point ISD website, as well as PilotPointBearcats.com. We'll keep you in the know. We always want to thank our sponsors, the Nutrition Den, Pelzel Printing, Ashley Marsh Photography, Dana Walker with Germania Insurance, Southern Junkies, Chandler Cabinets, and last but not least, the Pilot Point Post Signal. Without the generous support of our sponsors, we wouldn't be able to bring this great podcast to you. We thank you for listening. We thank you for your over 3,000 downloads of the Bearcat Insider podcast. And above all else, we want to thank Coach David and Pilot Point ISD for allowing us to do this, and our wonderful listeners. As always, go Bearcats.
Bearcats.